Good morning, dear students. Welcome back in our continuous second lecture of the subject Economic Zoology, Chapter 11 Model Animals. So, we have studied the concept of model animals in the pharmaceutical industry, even what are the legislative principles or governing body of the animal use in pharmaceutical industries or for the experiment. We have considered them also. We have taken a little bit idea about them also. Then what are the principles or legislative rules formulated by such a regulating bodies? We also studied them. Even the drug discovery, formulation of a drug, even testing of a candidate medicine, as well as characterization of a candidate medicine is already we have studied in our previous lecture, right? Why model organisms are required? So all these things, what are the primates or why primates are considered for the study? So all these things we have completed in our first lecture of model animals used in the pharmaceutical industry. Now in the present lecture, what we're going to study, we're going to study the different types of model animals like rat. No doubt rat is the most favorite model animal for pharmaceutical research, right? Apart from the rat, the yeast which can be used, as well as some nematodes, as well as some parasitic worms, as well as the many other animals, they are used in the pharmaceutical industry as an model organism. Let's take a look. Even insects, they are also not lagging behind in testing. They are also used as a testing animal in the pharmaceutical industry, right? Okay, let's move ahead and see the different types of model animals used in pharmaceutical industry. The first one is a rat, that is Rattus norvegicus. It is used extensively as a model organism for studying normal and disease processes in human, primarily because of an extensive body of the knowledge of rat physiological mechanism and significant number of rat models that mimic human diseases. Human, or you can say, yes, scientists, they knows ample amount of, or you can say they have ample knowledge of rat body, its overall physiology, its histology, right, metabolism, many things, knowledge about many things, or you can say almost everything is there to the human, right? Human is having entire knowledge about the rat physiology, morphology, biochemistry, everything, right? Even some kind of a diseases which are mimic or similar to the human, that is also known from the rat. Hence the rats, they are also used, or hence the rats, they are the most favorable animal for the pharmaceutical research. Once genes are identified in the rat, a particular target gene has been identified, pathophysiological mechanism can be elucidated, lending clues to the identification of a human genetic counterpart. So particular gene sequence is being studied, and that particular gene sequence, whether it is similar or dissimilar to the human, so like that studies have been performed in the rat. Even some kind of drugs, they are tested. If a particular gene sequence is found to be similar and that gene is going to regulate a particular disorder, then the disorder regulating that particular gene sequence will be same in human and in the other, means in the rat. Hence the rat can be used, or they mimic human for certain human diseases, and for that purpose the rats, they are most favorable animal for studying as an experimental animal. So yeast, again yeast, they can be used in certain experiments, such as it serves as a model for human diseases. Yeast, why yeast is after all a small eukaryote? No, why and how it can serve as a model for human diseases? Any guesses? Okay. So yeast, perhaps the best understood eukaryotic organism. It is one of the good eukaryotic organism, and it is a eukaryotic. Human being is also eukaryotic. All these members, listed here are also eukaryotic, right? What it means? It means they bears a true nucleus, they bears a number of we can say a number of cell organelle, right? So that is said to be eukaryotic organism. And so eukaryotic organism at the molecular and cellular level. So this Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that is also called as a baker's yeast, is also used by the human for studying certain drugs as a model organism or model animal, right? Then zebrafish, that is Danio rerio. So this zebrafish is also used by the American scientist for study of the drugs. So it belongs to family Cyprinidae, and they are used in embryological studies and to study the effect of certain chemicals on the development, right? To study the effect of certain chemicals on the developmental stages of the fish embryo. This zebrafish can be used, or it is used as a model organism in the pharmaceutical industry. Now, all right, now knockout mice. Knockout mice is also used, or it is one of the favorite experimental animal. Why and how? What do you mean by knockout mice? Let's see. Mice whose genome contains a large mice whose genome contains a gene whose function has been disturbed, right? Whose function has been disrupted or knocked out or removed. So what it means? A mice whose genome contains a gene whose function has been disturbed, it is knocked out, right? So it is removed, kind of. So that is said to be a knockout mice, or it is can be called as a transgenic mice, because its a genome is now altered, no? So it can be treated as a transgenic mice or genetically modified mice. So that is GMOs. Okay. A common method of producing disabled genes using a recombinant DNA technology is by inserting an antibiotic resistance gene into a normal DNA sequence of a clone of the gene being studied. Right? How that knockout gene can be prepared? So the genetic sequence, gene sequence, has been disturbed by interfering, by inserting antibiotic resistance gene into their normal genome, and then that clone of the gene is been prepared, it is studied and further inserted into the mice with the help of rDNA technology, and then the knockout mice are prepared. They are used as a model animal for various diseases. Okay, such as cystic fibrosis disease, and are helping to clarify the function of the gene studied within a field of immunology, cancer genetics, and developmental biology. What it means? Knockout mice are used as an animal model for various diseases. Which are the diseases for that this knockout mice can be used, such as cystic fibrosis, and even the helping to clarify the function of a gene studied within the field of immunology. For the immunological point of view, what are the genes responsible for producing immunity in the human? Such a kind of a research is also performed in the knockout mice. Even cancer genetics, how the cells become cancerous, how they turn to neoteny or uncontrolled growth, and how they become cancerous. So such a kind of things are also studied in the knockout mice, because they are genetically modified. We can modify them according to our concept, according to our need. And for the developmental biology, study of developmental biology, how the cells they multiply, how one cell get divided into other, and organization takes place, like that. Number of developmental processes they are studied in such a knockout mice. Even disease models, genetically modified mice have proven effective in the identification of a new gene functions. No doubt, this knockout mice is again one of the GMOs, that is genetically modified organism, and they have effective in identification of a new gene sequence because we have modified their gene sequence. No, and so that new gene sequence, what expression does it gives, how the new gene sequence, whether it is useful to that animal or whether it is harmful to the animal, such a kind of functional status of that new implemented gene can be studied. It is possible to study in the laboratory on the knockout mice. And of a novel drug target and appropriate disease model are powerful tools for validation of such a target while facilitating diseases and patient stratification studies at the same time, right? So apart from that, a particular novel drug is need to be tested. If it is, then that novel drug can be tested on the knockout mice or genetically modified mice, and what is the target organ, what is the target cell, and how it react with the cell, what kind of physiological activity takes place at that level, and how powerful it is for treating a particular cell type or particular disease, right? And whether it is going to help human, or whether the drug is going to cure disease, or whether it is going to degrade the condition of the cell. So all such a kind of things, they are studied related to the disease model in case of a knockout mice, right? So in the laboratory conditions, pharmaceutical industries, they use this knockout mice as a model for the disease study. Even the drug validation, functioning, toxicity, as well as the safety of a drugs, these kind of model organisms or genetically modified organisms, they are used in the laboratory by the pharmaceutical industries. So, and there is a marked increase in the use of mouse and other models for translational research purposes. Okay, so for the protein related, or you can say for the translational research purposes, number of such a model organisms, they are being used. So whatever supplements we are getting, so as to whether the food supplements we are getting, so these are also tested on the model organism, and then they are bring into the market for the human use. So they are also these model organisms were also used for testing of such a translational research purposes or product. Then come to the insect, Drosophila. Now Drosophila, now one can ask how the Drosophila, they are used as a model organism for human drugs, right? So these organisms, that is Drosophila, are most extensively studied for all genera from the standpoint of a genetic and cytology. Why it is used as a model organism? Because this Drosophila is extensively studied, right? So its entire genomic composition is known to us, known to scientists, right? Hence it is used as a model organism. So the proteins, commercially important protein families such as kinases, ion channels, secreted proteins, and G protein coupled receptors, so these are said to be the commercially important proteins. So from the most intensively studied species of Drosophila are the subject of much interest in the area of morphogenesis and development. So these Drosophilas, they are much intensively studied as an interesting animal in the area of morphogenesis. How the morphogenesis takes place means its life cycle is very short, no? So it is very easy to observe the morphogenesis, how morphological differentiation takes place, formation of organ, different organs, how they takes place, right? So all these things are very easy, development is easy to study. Apart from that, commercially important proteins which are found to be present in the human, as well as these proteins are found to be present in this member, so they can be best studied in the Drosophila, right? So hence Drosophila serves as one of the experimental model animal. Then E. coli, everybody knows E. coli, right? residing in the gut of the human or vertebrates. So this E. coli, Escherichia coli, common bacterium that has been studied intensively by the geneticist because of its small genome size and normal lack of a pathogenicity, as it is residing in the colon or gut of the vertebrate. So they are not pathogenic to us when they are present in our body, but if they are inhaled if they are taken inside through the contaminated water, then they become toxic, but normally they are not pathogenic and is of a growth in the laboratory. They can be easily grown in the laboratory. So hence this is useful as a model organism. Then nematodes, certain nematodes like Caenorhabditis elegans. So this is one of the nematode worm, a model organism, the first multicellular organism to have a completely squared genome. So this nematodes, they are also been used as a model organism for performing the pharmaceutical research, because these nematodes, as they are present in the soil or sometimes they found to be living parasitically into the body of another organism. So if such a things are there, then to get rid of such an endoparasite, some kind of drugs are there, some kind of medicines are there, and how these organisms can react or respond towards a particular medicine, it is need to be tested prior, right? And if it is not tested, you cannot administer a particular medicine to that disease condition. So for the testing also of such a nematocidal medicines, nematocidal drugs, because often we getting infection of the worms in the stomach, right? So as to cover it, nematocidal drugs are given, and these drugs need to be validated, need to be tested safe for the human use, and they are tested on such a model animals. Then amoeba, that is Dictyostelius discoideum. So it is one of the amoeba, again genus of protozoans. One of the protozoan belong to phylum Protozoa, and formerly also considered as a fungus, but it is actually the amoeba. Also its a natural habitat is decaying forest leaves, as it is found in the decaying forest leaves, so it was considered as a fungus initially, but later on it get to know that it's a amoeba, that is one of the protozoan organism. And as it is found to be present into the decaying forest leaves, where it feeds on the bacteria, and it is the best known species, and it's widely used in the biomedical research, right? On what it is used to feed? It is used to feed on the bacteria, right? And where it is found in the decaying leaves. So later on it was considered as a biomedical research, one of the best thing for the biomedical research, as it is an amoeba. By what way it can engulf the food material? It don't have hands, it don't have mouth, right? By the endocytosis process, it will going to feed on the bacteria, and when that bacteria is taken inside through the process of endocytosis, some enzymes are there in its body which digest that bacterium, right? So what are the enzymes responsible for digesting a particular bacteria or digesting bacteria? They are well studied. So biomedical studies, that is, so that specific kind of enzymes are studied, they are isolated from this organism, they are multiplied further and can be used for preparation of antibacterial drugs for the human. So such a kind of model organism, varieties of such organisms are there in the pharmaceutical industry, which are used as a model organism either for the drug testing, either for studying the disease mechanism, either for drug toxicity testing, even for the safety of the particular drugs, formulation of a particular drugs, formulation, or you can say effect of particular drug on a target organ, as well as biophysiological activity of organism, whether the drug is going to change or going to make any alteration in the physiological activity of the drug is need to be tested, or these are tested on the model animals. Even a particular drug which is given to be, suppose it is given to be a pregnant woman, or the woman at the pregnancy level or baby carrying age, so that drug cannot given to the woman directly. That drug is need to be tested on the experimental animals, okay, at the same age, means at the age of a carrying baby. So at the pregnancy level of this mice or the rat or maybe the sheep or maybe the pregnant primates, so the drug is need to be tested, it needs to be validated on the domestic, or sorry, on the experimental animals, model animals. And if that drug is found to be safe on the model animals after several testing, okay, if the drug which is supposed to be given to a pregnant lady, that drug has to be tested prior on the pregnant mouse or primates, pregnant primate or the similar kind of animals. And if the drug is found to be safe to use on them, or safely perform the experiment, safely it can be used, it doesn't have any toxicity, it doesn't have any adverse effect, it is smoothly running the period, then in the sense ki baby's growth, if it is not going to hamper. So all after studying all such a possibilities, such a drug after several testing on the domestic, instead of a domestic we say model animals, then and then only it is ready to use on the human, right? So for any kind of a drug, whatever we are getting in the market, it's a validation, it's a testing, means there is a huge procedure prior it comes to the market for sell. Huge procedure is there before it comes to the market, comes in the market for a sell. So with this, my dear students, we have completed chapter number 11, that is model organism in pharmaceutical industry.